It's a big day. The brand new 16-inch, highly rumored MacBook Pro is finally here, and we've got our hands on one. Wanted to do a video, go over some of the specs, just some of the things that you can expect out of this machine. Of course, talk about some of the new features, and really whether or not you should go pick one of these up. So just like in the name, when you pop this thing open, the first thing you're gonna notice is this brand new, beautiful 16-inch screen. Now, what's cool is Apple has slimmed down the bezels a little bit on the side on this machine to make it look a little more modern, and also this helps this 16-inch screen fit in a chassis that's very similar to that 15-inch model. Now, it does have a slightly bigger footprint, not by much. It's about 1 millimeter wider. It's about 1 millimeter thicker, this device, and we'll get into some reasons why in a minute. But overall, it's really gonna feel similar to a 15-inch model. Now, because of how controversial the keyboards have been on the last 3 or 4 years of MacBook devices, I wanted to start there and just address that elephant in the room and go ahead and say that for the most part, I think Apple has fixed everything that was wrong with the old butterfly keyboards. Now, for me, I was actually never one that minded the butterfly keyboards that much. I really enjoyed using them. However, the bigger issue was reliability. So what Apple has done here is the new keyboard on the 16-inch MacBook Pro is inspired by the Magic keyboard that comes with the iMacs, iMac Pros. Of course, you can buy that standalone as well. And just about everybody has seemed to really enjoy those keyboards. And again, probably more importantly, there's really not been any reliability issues with the Magic keyboards like there has been with a lot of the MacBook keyboards over the last 3 or 4 years. So for me, the typing feel at the end of the day, if you are somebody that has not enjoyed that butterfly style key mechanism, the lower key travel and everything else, you're gonna love these. So these keys have got double the key travel compared to the old butterfly keyboards. And also Apple says it's put a lot of just R&D behind making sure that people love this keyboard. I think it's been no secret that they know that the keyboard is something in this device that had to be perfect. And I really think they've delivered. Now, a couple of other things to point out about the keyboard is the hard escape key is finally back. So it used to just be on the touch bar. For a lot of developers, people like that, that's really going to be a big deal. The second thing is they've added the inverted T arrow keys. So again, these aren't a big deal for me. I don't use, those keys all that much anyway, but I know there's a lot of developers and people that are really going to find those, keys being back comforting. So it's just another example of Apple really listening to what users want with this machine. So now let's talk about performance. That's really what I'm most excited about with the new MacBook Pros, because that's what I use these devices for the most, is video editing. Now, I push mine pretty hard with 4K video editing, so some of the projects I work with have 3 or 4 different streams of 4K video playing back. Now, these machines should be able to handle that no problem. The old machines handle that pretty well. But the thing Apple claims to have delivered here that I'm most excited about is just the improved thermal design. So I'm sure you probably saw some of the stories whenever they came out that Apple was having a lot of trouble cooling its laptops. So these new i9, Intel processors were coming out that promised to deliver some pretty good performance, but the chassis of the old MacBook Pros just couldn't handle the power and do a good job of cooling those machines off. So that's, again, something that I'm curious to start really running this through its paces and seeing if it actually delivers, but from everything that I've seen so far, I think it will. Now, one of the things that I really appreciate about Apple is even certain features that nobody was complaining about, they have improved on. So a couple of examples here. There's a new speaker system in the 16-inch MacBook Pro that sounds honestly phenomenal. I've already listened to some music on this. Now, this is comparing other laptops, but the speakers in the MacBook Pro 15-inch were already the best speakers in any laptop out there, and these are much better. So Apple's done a couple of different things with the speakers and with the woofers. They've designed them in such a way that they kind of cancel out each other so that there's not too much rattling in the case whenever you're listening to music kind of loud, and it sounds very good. Now, the other big improvement they made is the onboard microphone now is, according to Apple, good enough to record podcasts or record audio. Now, nobody should be using a laptop, even the new MacBook Pro, for any kind of professional recording, but it's very nice to have just for FaceTime calls, video conferencing, those types of things. And at the end of the day, I'm sure some people will enjoy using that new microphone for audio recordings and just kind of some idea type things. So it's good to have, not going to replace external microphones, but again, those are features that nobody was complaining about. So it's cool to see, those improvements as well. Now, one of the other big improvements as well is graphic cards. So the base AMD Radeon graphics cards that are in the $2,400 base model, those are apparently supposed to outperform the best that you could get in the 2019 version of the 15-inch MacBook Pro. So the graphics is going to be great. And of course, Apple always does a good job of marrying hardware and software here. So there's been some updates that have come out lately in Final Cut Pro, for example, and the update uses the graphics cards a lot more than even the processors to do rendering and some other things. So that's going to be another really important feature there. And then I just mentioned the pricing. That was another big surprise. A lot of people anticipated that this device was going to cost $3,000 or more. And the base configuration, again, starts at $2,400, and then there's a $2,800 kind of upgrade, and then you can spec it up from there. And so this machine is replacing the 15-inch model. It's not fitting in above that 15-inch model, and the pricing is actually really aggressive for what you get. The base models start at 512 gigs as far as storage goes for the $2,400 model. The $2,800 model comes with a terabyte now, so you're getting double the storage from older models. And then speccing those up, Apple is not charging as much when it comes to the storage options. So there's really a lot to like about these machines. So overall, to me, the new keyboard is kind of a game changer. If you've had problems or just really didn't like that key travel of the old ones, that's certainly going to be a big upgrade. And then performance-wise, if your job just requires you to have that peak performance, I think the bang for the buck as far as the internals and everything is going to be great. So at the end of the day, should you upgrade? If you have the means to do so, and there's some of the things like the keyboard that you have not liked in the old models, you can get some pretty good trade-in deals, through some third-party websites, and even Apple has a pretty good trade-in program, so you can get a little bit of money for your old device for a new purchase. And I think this device is absolutely a go. I'm sure I'll be using this to edit videos for the next 2, 3, 4 years. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments if there's some other videos or things that you want us to dig into about the new MacBook Pro 16-inch. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.